Hello, welcome to another edition of CropLife Retail Week. I'm Eric Sfiligoj, editor of CropLife and CropLife Iron, here again with Lara Sowinski. Laura, how you doing?
Doing well. Thank you. How about you?
Well, I had a little dental work done earlier this week, so part of my jaw is a little sore, but luckily I can talk, which is good, and I don't look like a chipmunk, hopefully, on screen. So
Well, if we need to cancel fun with numbers for this episode,
funny that you'd
it would
gravitate
be.
towards that. You're like, yeah, you could talk for 15 minutes, but then you can stop. So,
All right.
well, hey, I got some news to share. This kind of be right up your alley. This has to do with transportation when it comes to grain. USDA's Agricultural Marketing Services released their grain transportation report for end of May and early June. And according to them, the numbers were actually pretty positive. U.S. Class 1 railroads originated 24,019 grain carloads during the week ending May 31st, which was a 9% increase compared to year before. So there was a lot more grain going by rail car towards the end of May.
Mhm.
And in terms of barge movement, they also had a positive number. 725,950 tons of grain were transported by barge through the end of June 7th. And that represented a 98% increase from the same period a year ago. So there seems to be a lot of grain moving on the rail and down on the barges. So it sounds like grain exports are going quite strongly for the ag market right here in 2025.
Yeah, actually, yeah, good news item. I just scanning the headlines every morning, like I'm sure we both do. I saw something about strong U.S. ag exports, so makes sense. Yeah, that's good. Good news for sure.
Yeah, and I have more good news to share. This says in the ethanol area. According to USDA, the ethanol exports for 2025 are expected to hit $4.3 billion in value, and that's up 3% from 2024. The report pointed out that most of the demand's coming from countries such as Canada, the European Union, the UK, and Colombia as their ethanol gasoline blend demand increases. And they pointed out also that the demand in the U.S. for ethanol is remaining steady, 930,000 barrels per day in
Wow,
2025, which is
wow,
unchanged from 2024.
that's great. That is good news.
Yep, so I had some good news to share. Hopefully, you'll continue the trend. So I'll kick it to you.
I do. And it wasn't hard to find it. There were some good things to highlight this past week. Actually, the Purdue Farmer Sentiment report that I'm keen on looking at every month. The latest one came out June 3rd, so we're a little behind on that. Nonetheless, good survey results from May. The farmer sentiment in May climbed to its highest level since May 2021 as the Purdue CME Group Ag Economy Barometer Index reached 158, which is 10 points higher than April's index.
Hmm?
Farmers reported more optimism about both current conditions and their expectations for the future. In particular, farmers were much more bullish on prospects for U.S. ag exports, as we kind of mentioned, and were less negative about the impact of tariffs on 2025 farm income than what the survey showed in either March or April. One tiny, maybe tiny, maybe not so much. What they described as a potential emerging issue is that 1 out of 4 crop and livestock producers who typically hire non family members indicated that the administration's policy to reduce immigration could make it more difficult to hire sufficient labor for their farm operations. Um, that's been in the news. So that I guess that kind of was something that was indicated in the survey as well. But overall, really nice little bump for the May survey compared to April. The other news item I have, which was really great, our CropLife Media Group here at Meister Media includes our CropLife and CropLife Iron brands, but also our sister publication, Cotton Grower.
Mhm.
And, certainly keeping an eye on learning more about the cotton sector and our friends at Rabobank, who we were really thrilled to meet in person actually during Commodity Classic in March in Denver. Owen Wagner, one of the analysts at Rabobank, released his latest cotton report entitled Waist Deep, a Growing Backlash Against Fast Fashion Could Spell New Opportunity for U.S. Cotton. The upshot is since first arriving to the scene in the early 1990s, fast fashion and subsequently ultra fast fashion have enjoyed enviable growth, far surpassing growth rates in apparel spending generally. The dark side of this growth has been the hyperconsumption that has accompanied it. So, in this analysis, Owen addresses how this business model is driving consumers to buy more and the financial incentives for marketing cotton based on its qualitative attributes rather than simply as a commodity. So, that's kind of cool. We've talked about with our cotton colleagues, even Jason Kelsey, there was a video that we were talking about the last few months, a YouTube video that he put together, just raising the question, hey, how is this cotton T-shirt of mine? How is it made? Where does it start? What's the journey of cotton, if you will? And um, we know, for instance, honestly, just talking with Stacy Gorman, she's the director of communications at the Cotton Board. Our colleague Michelle from Cotton Grower, she and I will be attending the Women in Cotton tour this next week. So when we were talking to Stacy about this, she said, "Yeah, this is big news for the industry associations." But likewise, getting the consumer on board to really being aware of um, synthetic fibers and apparel, and particularly not only kind of the downside, if you will, but the microplastics that are shed when these types of apparel are washed are really, really a big deal. And in the ag in industry, whether it's the chemicals in the jug or other ways that microplastics are entering the food supply chain, this was just one more thing. So we're super excited, I know, on the cotton side because, boy, that cotton industry has been taking a beating. The cotton grower folks that we talk to in the Cotton Belt states, the 17 states that comprise the Cotton Belt, if it's not weather, it's, drought, hurricanes, just really, commodity prices are low, competition from Brazil. So they've been having a tough time. And this is just such a nice little turn of events. I just wanted to put that out there. So, as consumers, all of us should be a little more mindful and make good choices about what we're wearing and why. Not to take anything away, but just, hey, I have on a nice linen shirt today. It's nice and cool, keeps me cool in hot El Paso, and just kind of feels good. So, anyway, it's kind of like my public service announcement for the week, but it was good news and just wanted to share that.
That's funny, Laura. I didn't think we had a sponsor this week, but thank you for the promotional for the cotton to wear cotton. Yeah, no, I agree though, because I find cotton very comfortable. I know a lot of times I don't golf very often, but when I do, a cotton shirt just I don't know, it just seems to work better out on a golf course under a hot sun for 18 holes. So
Yeah, good. Yay.
yay! All right. Well, we've got some. We'll can hopefully continue the good news as we end our show, and you will be part of the good news when you get the question correct. But it's time for your favorite segment, and hopefully our viewers as well. Time for Fun with Numbers.
Yay. All right. Give me one that I can get right, Eric.
Okay. Well, your number this week is a pretty high number, not a percentage, not a dollar amount, just a straight number, 50 million.
Okay.
All right. So, Miss Laura, is 50 million, is that A, the projected increase in corn export bushels for 2024-25? Is it B, the projected increase in soybean export bushels for 2024-25? Is it C, the projected increase in wheat export bushels for 2024-25? Or is it D, the number of drywall particles swept up by Lara Sowinski during her house's renovation work?
How'd you know?
I counted.
Oh my goodness. I always feel just like that if I just spent the whole week reading through USD and AMS statistics and whatnot, I'd be okay. But let me think about this. I'm going to say corn, A.
You are correct. Nice job. Yeah, USDA's report they put out on corn exports in 2024-25 recently, and they have upped the amount of the exports by 50 million bushels to 2.65 billion bushels total. That's based on stronger than expected demand from places such as Japan, Colombia, and Mexico. And basically, they said that this is now decreasing the corn carryover amount by 50 million bushels. And that possibly could have a nice impact on corn commodity prices as we go forward through 2025, maybe increasing them a little bit. So I know obviously the growers in our industry are always looking for higher commodity prices so that they can get a little more money for their crops. And it sounds like, at least on the corn side, there might be all these factors converging that'll make that happen.
Yeah, which, again, kind of makes sense. Farmer sentiment survey indicating the same thing. So
yeah,
it's
this is a good video.
News.
It all ties together like a nice
exactly. It all
nice
works.
little glove. Everything just fits. So
yeah, absolutely. That's great, Eric.
All right. Well, Miss Laura, so you're going to be on the road next week. I will as well. So I'll have some updates from my trip to Montana. And you said you're headed where?
We are going to Cary, North Carolina, and participating in the Women in Cotton tour, sponsored by the Cotton Board. So we're excited about that.
Yeah. So next week, viewers, if you tune in, you'll get to hear on a little information on Laura and my road trips. So. All right. Well, thank you for joining us for this edition of CropLife Retail Week. On behalf of myself and everyone at the CropLife Media Group, we hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you again next week. If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comment section below. Your feedback is important to us. We will try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.